one of the greatest American wrestlers of all time, the one and only Bo Nickal. Hey, Bo. Whoa. What happened? Where'd the hair go?
I actually just got a fresh cut. I'm trying to get more like you.
Whoa. This is a shocker. This just happened today?
Yeah, like 20 minutes ago.
Frank, can we get some breaking news music? Bo has a new haircut. Breaking, colon. What inspired this?
Just, I think a couple things. One, shaved head, I'm undefeated in my career.
Okay.
So I like to keep it rolling, keep the good vibes going. And then, I was thinking a lot, like when I see guys get hit in the head when they have long hair and their hair's bouncing around and stuff, it's a bad look. It just kind of looks like you're just getting wrecked. So, I see guys' hair getting bounced around and stuff. I don't really like that. So I'm not going to be that guy.
Wow. Correct me if I'm wrong. I kind of feel like you're undefeated with long hair as well.
That might be true. It's possible, but yeah, either way.
How does it feel? Fresh?
Feels great. Feel fresh. Feel good. So yeah, ready to
Fresh
rock
and
and
clean.
roll.
I have to say, I really like the long hair. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like this, but I really actually thought it was a good look.
I like the long hair too. I had the long hair for the most part through college, and I enjoy it. But I think something about just switching it up and making the people kind of do a double take.
I like it. Well, that's certainly what happened here. Growing the beard as well?
Yeah, a little bit. I think if you go short hair, you gotta grow the beard.
Well,
So.
I subscribe to that as well. A lot of changes in your life, a lot of exciting things. New haircut, new beard, and I see you sporting this Better sweatshirt. That's Jake Paul's company. What's going on there?
Yeah. Big announcement actually. So I just signed with Better, just signed with Jake Paul's company, and going to be doing a lot of media and a lot of cool stuff in the combat sports space. So just a new deal, kind of my first deal that I've done that's been kind of big time, and my manager Malcolm helped me out with that, and yeah, it's super exciting. But we got some awesome stuff coming in the combat sports media space, so it's gonna be fun.
I love that. Are you in touch with Jake? Perhaps you can help him train for his MMA debut. You guys going to work together?
Yeah. I talked to him over FaceTime. Hopefully we'll get to meet in person and train together soon. So, I think it made a lot of sense for me, him being, probably the number one boxing prospect in the world, me being the number one MMA prospect in the world, for us to partner up, team up, and we'll definitely be doing a lot of stuff together in the future, I'm sure.
This is great. And so what exactly is it? Like, they're sponsoring you? Do you have to do stuff for them? What exactly are the terms here?
So I basically partnered with them in a content capacity and like a media space. So the first thing that we'll be doing together is actually kind of a mini embedded series on my fight week for this upcoming fight, and that'll be available on all my channels, on all of Better's channels, and just kind of from there, I'm going to get into just more content, just freshening up the MMA content space a little bit. I think there's a lot of people that are doing good things, and for me, I want to kind of be able to share insight into my life with the fans and with people that is maybe not typically seen from a lot of fighters. And so we're going to be doing a kind of a podcast style show. It's not going to be exactly like what you see in a typical podcast with people talking. It's going to be a little more, I would say, active. I'm doing a lot of fun stuff all the time, traveling and meeting people. And so but I'm going to, after my fight, be working on putting a show together and doing something on that end. So yeah, I'm really excited about it overall.
That's awesome. Congratulations. We were actually just talking about this before the show. We're like, man, Bo's content is always so fresh. Like, it feel like, do you have like a whole bunch of people working for you? What is going on here? Because why does your content seem so much better than most MMA fighters?
I think that, first off, shout out. I have one content guy that helps me manage everything. His name's Ronan. He's a college kid. He goes to Penn State. He's graduating.
Wow.
This spring, and he'll be with me full time once he graduates. But I think that for me, it's kind of been similar to my career in that, like, I feel very well prepared for interviews, very well prepared for big moments, and it's been similar in the content space because getting the attention that I got through wrestling, I want to say, like, I was up over 100K followers as a college wrestler and stuff. And so just kind of feeling that, experiencing that at a lower level, and being able to build up to where I'm at now, you kind of get to almost see into the future a little bit when it's not just thrust on your plate all at once, right? Like I kind of saw all this coming, and so I had a plan, not only like in fighting, and I also had a plan for content and media, and I think that's just being prepared and kind of seeing the future before it happens, and just yeah, trying to make the most of that, and just really share my life with the fans and the people, give the people what they want to see.
I like your content very much. It's original, it's fresh, it's unique, except there's one reoccurring theme that I do not like. And I have
I
to
already
tell
know.
the world, it's a little bit of bullying on your part. I mean, it's a lot of showing this stuff to me and makes me nauseous every time I see it. It's your uncooked meat, your disgusting
Um,
uncooked meat. And we actually have, can we play this and show it to Bo as well? This is you, long hair, eating meat, and you're like going like, oh, this is so great. And we actually have now slowed it down. I don't know if you can see this, and we're gonna zoom in on it. That looks like a piece, like that looks like flesh. What is going on? Can we play that one more time for Bo if possible? Nope. That's Modestus. Did we lose Bo? Did you see that? I mean, what is that? What is going on over there? What is happening?
there's a bigger question that I think most people would side with me on
Oh,
in this topic.
there's blood dripping off the thing. There's actual blood dripping off it. What is that?
Not blood, it's myoglobin. So first off, let's get our facts straight. But
Okay.
I don't think it's important for me to answer this because I think 99% of people would side with me. But what is your like? Why are you scarred? Like, what's your deal,
I don't
dude?
like
Like,
to eat. I don't like to eat flesh. Like I want to eat cooked
you
food.
mean you don't like to eat flesh? You don't eat meat. You're not a vegan.
No, I know, but I cook it. Like I like a hamburger because a hamburger is well done, right? Typically.
I mean, I don't really eat my burgers well done,
What do
but
you? How do you do raw burger?
I don't do it raw. I'll do it like medium well, like
Medium
pink.
well? Wow, I feel like can someone clip that off? Both saying medium well.
For a burger, for a burger. Be careful.
We can
Yeah, I
get
don't.
you in a lot of trouble.
Why have you just always been this way? Like you were a
Yeah.
kid eat ketchup on your steak and never grew up, or what?
Yeah. What's wrong with ketchup? I don't get why people are bothered by this so much. I really don't.
I don't know. It just seems like the wrong way to go about it. Like
Really?
I taste a hockey puck steak and I'm like,
No.
okay, I might as well just eat some beef jerky or something. But if I want like a real steak, like a ribeye, I'm doing that medium rare, just like I like it, and it's gonna taste amazing, and
You're,
with a nice crust on it. When was the last time? When's the last time like you ate a steak that wasn't well done? Like when was the last time?
I don't know. I mean, hopefully never.
All right, well, this is what we're gonna do then. We're gonna bring you out to Steak College. I'm gonna grill you steak, and
Oh
then I'm
my
gonna change it.
gosh. By the way,
To,
you ever do it like straight up rare?
I'm not like a cold like center type of guy. Like I like I like it medium rare. So like a warm red center. Like that's kind of for me what is ideal. I'll eat it rare if it's but I do like it cooked a little bit more.
And how often are you eating steak?
Pretty much every day, man.
Really?
Yeah. I eat some type of meat every day. Generally it's red meat, I would say. Not always like beef. I'll eat elk, I'll eat venison and all the different types of
Dang.
stuff because I hunt too, so I get wild game and stuff.
Wow. And that's healthy to have that much red meat?
Super healthy. Yeah. I mean, especially like considering if you're an athlete, generally you're gonna want um quite a bit of protein, like relative to your body weight. For me, I'm getting in around 230 grams of protein a day, and it's going to be really hard to do that without some type of meat. But I mean, of course, I'm doing other things, doing protein shakes, doing dairy, things like that. But yeah, I'm eating meat generally every day.
What about medium rare impossible burger? Are you into that? No, you don't do the impossible stuff?
No, that's trash,
No, come on. I love it. Impossible.
garbage. Look at what's in it.
Yeah, I know.
It's terrible for you.
Well, we will disagree on this. Agree to disagree. Uh, December, we were hoping to see you in action. It was a quick turnaround. Why didn't you fight on that card?
So, I really would wanted to have that quick turnaround, and in the moment right after my fight, that was where my mind was, and I actually went into my last Contender Series fight with a bit of an injury,
Oh,
And I kind of thought it was something that was going to be like, I'll finish the fight and then I'll just clear it up and we'll be ready to go. And it took a little longer than I expected to get healthy after the fight. You know, with the Contender Series, it was like, I'm fighting, right? Like this is the date. There's kind of a season, right? So I can't push this back. So I'm fighting and I'm just going to push through it. And then when I kind of got home and stuff and I started to, think about getting back into training and prepping for December, I was like, you know what? Like it's not the best thing for me. I need to get this 100% solved and healthy before I move into my next camp. And so pushing it back to March made sense with the Brazil card in January and the Australia card in February. So March with the US card was like the next date that made the most sense.
okay. And you feel 100% now?
Yeah, I've been 100% since December.
Oh,
I've been training like 12 weeks, like ready for this fight, and I'm 100%. So I would have liked to have fought in January or February, but with again the cards being out of the country, the UFC wanted me to make my debut in America, which I'm cool with as well. So we just pushed it back to March.
and what a card, man. Return of John Jones, Shevchenko on the card. It is like of the pay-per-views so far this year, I would say it's the best. For you to be on a John Jones card, considering who he is in the sport, what does that mean to you?
Man, it's huge. I look at John Jones as obviously one of the legends. A lot of stock in him and argument as the GOAT. A lot of people think he's the greatest of all time, and just to be opening up a main card, him as the main event, is a very cool place to be at. In my UFC debut. So obviously the goal for me is eventually to be headlining and be the main event myself. On pay-per-views, but for now it's very exciting, and I feel very grateful and appreciative to be in the position that I am and have this opportunity.
Um, you just said it, but I just want to confirm you are on the main card. I know last time I asked you, but I wasn't sure. Sometimes they don't like when people get a little bit too uppity about these things. So you are
I
main
got
card.
hated into that. I was shocked.
People,
It surprised me. People were like, "Yo, blah blah, this that." I'm like, "All right, man. Like, I get where you're coming from. Like, you don't know me, but you're talking about me, so
yeah.
there's obviously a reason." Like again, I'm not the one that makes these decisions. It's the UFC, and so you know that I don't know why people are mad at me for that, but yeah, I'm in the right place.
Do you like? Obviously, I'm assuming you're not the type to sit there and read your comments all day, but because you're so confident, some might say cocky, whatever. I don't say that in a bad way, but you're not afraid to say how you feel. You don't sugarcoat, which is why we like talking to you. Would you say, if this was a graph, you get 50% hate, 60% hate, 70% love? Like how would you describe what you see? Because you know how MMA fans are, how all fans are like, who is this guy, right? Maybe they didn't grow up watching you or they don't know NCAA wrestling. How would you break it down?
So I would say it's probably like 90% positive,
Oh, wow,
maybe
great.
like almost everybody is super positive towards me. I think oftentimes you can see the negative comments and maybe they're a little louder or they just, hit you a little differently. But I've had a ton of positive response and so much support. That's something I'm super grateful for. And I feel like I don't really want to be like the bad guy that people don't like. Like that's just not really me. I've never been that guy that's like the villain. So I think maybe a couple comments I had rubbed people the wrong way. And I think that's just because they don't have any context. They don't really know me. They don't know what type of person I am and stuff. And which I don't really blame them for. That's the way that social media works. But I think overall I've had super positive response. Everybody's really hyped, really excited. And yeah, once in a while there's somebody that's being a hater in there, but that's just, that's the way life goes.
When's the last time you competed in front of a full arena? Because the Contender Series fights weren't full. Even your Icon fight, that was, still somewhat pandemic days. When's the last time you compete in front of like 15, 16, 17, 18,000 people?
Yeah, so the last time would have been in Pittsburgh at PVG Paints Arena in 2019, my senior year
Wow.
of college. So that would have been like probably 25,000 people or so. And since then I've competed with the pandemic. Obviously, everybody was
Yeah.
in a little bit of a position where they didn't have that opportunity. I competed in the Olympic trials in 2021, and that was in front of probably maybe 10,000, but it wasn't like a as huge of a crowd as what it's like in, one of those big arenas. But yeah, I'm so excited just to be able to do that again. That's literally my favorite thing in the world. For me, when I was in college, my favorite matches were the biggest matches, or the NCAA tournament where you are in a huge arena. So those are where I feel like I compete the best. And yeah, I really can't wait to just feel that energy again.
Speaking of the Olympics, late December, you tweeted MMA should be in the Olympics. Do you think we'll ever see that day?
I hope it would be awesome. I don't think that I think it would be really, really tough. There's a lot of obstacles in the way. But when I look at MMA as a sport, I just feel like it's the best, like overall. Like a good example would be, all right, there's a playground and you got people playing basketball, and then a fight breaks out on the other end. What are people going to watch, right?
Mm.
Like, and I think it's the easiest to identify with as human beings, because if you want to learn a sport, you obviously have to learn rules, right? Like, again, to go off the basketball analogy, it's like you got to learn like what how to get up and down the court, what scores points, that type of thing. But you don't really need to know the rules to know like a fight and who wins, like in general, right? Like maybe there's close fights, close decisions, but I think for the most part, like people are going to understand a fight. Or if some guys try to steal like a mom's kid, like she's going to fight that guy. Like that's just ingrained in us as humans. Like we understand it a little better. And so I think it would make sense for it to be in the Olympics. With where we're at now, I don't really think that it'll happen and anytime soon, but I just think it would be cool.
I wonder if there are too many issues because can guys fight that and women as well fight that frequently? In the Olympics, as far as boxing, you're wearing headgear. You can't do that in MMA. You're trying to avoid that type of injury. I don't know. I feel like maybe the next best thing would be BJJ or just
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu, right? That
I
one
think
seems like an obvious for the Olympics, no?
for sure. I think MMA, there are obviously a lot of issues, with how hard a fight is on your body and stuff, and having to compete multiple times. BJJ would be an awesome addition. And for me, I just love the idea of like representing my country as well. Like I'm super like it was really hard to not make the Olympic team in wrestling because I just wanted to represent my country so badly. And that's something I'm just like very, very, I would be very proud to do. And I was able to do it in an age group capacity a few times and win a world championship in an age group. But I love doing that. It was really cool feeling to be able to like put on for your country. And yeah, obviously now doing MMA, I can do that in a sense, but it's not the same as like competing in the Olympics, in my opinion.
You can't try out for 2024, right?
Yeah, I could, and I think honestly right now, if I focused on wrestling and was all in, that I would make the team and probably win the gold medal. But it's just I feel like I'm past that point in my life where I've kind of just readjusted my goals and changed my outlook and perspective. And I feel okay not pursuing that and just being all in on MMA. And it's hard and stuff, but I just feel way more passionate about MMA. And I don't want to chase two things at the same time. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to be all in with it.
Are you training for this fight in Pennsylvania or are you going to Miami or Florida as well?
I was down in Florida for a while,
Okay.
training with Mike Brown, training with Masvidal. I had a bunch of good looks down there. So I was down there for a few weeks, and since then I've been back up here. So I'll finish the rest of my camp in Pennsylvania. But I was able to go down to ATT, get some good sparring in and good training down there.
Anything concern you at all about Jamie Pickett?
I mean, I think you always have to go into a fight concerned. I think if you are too relaxed and taking it for granted, then and overlooking people, then that's a recipe for disaster. So for me, I would say I'm very concerned, very aware of everything that he's going to bring. I watch a ton of film, and I feel like I'm fully prepared for anything that he has ready for me. And with that being said, I'm very confident, and I know what I'm going to do out there. I expect to finish him in the first round, and if that doesn't happen, finish him in the second, and if that doesn't happen, I'll finish him in the third. But he's not making it 15 full minutes. I'm confident in that. So, yeah, but I think there's always room for concern whenever you're going to a fight, no matter what.
considering how fast your pro fights have gone, do you feel any kind of pressure? Like, okay, I need to be the first round guy, at least for the first few. Do you put that pressure on yourself?
Yeah, I definitely do. I wouldn't say I put that pressure on myself because of what I've done in the past. It's not necessarily like, oh, I've finished all these guys in the first round. Like, I have to keep this going. It's more like that's just what I expect every time, no matter what. Anytime I would go out to a wrestling match, I expected to pin the guy, and anytime I'm going out into a fight, I'm expecting to finish the guy. If things don't go exactly as I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. And, I see some guys that go out and it's like, guns blazing for 3 minutes and then they're done. And it's like, that's not really, I'm too smart to do that. So that's not going to be a strategy for me in fighting. But I just feel very capable and very dangerous in a lot of different positions. And I think I have the ability to finish the fight wherever it goes. And so with that, I think the expectations for a finish are on me. And that's just an expectation for myself every time I compete.
How many fights are we shooting for this year? 3, 4? What are we shooting for?
Yeah, I would say probably three. We'll obviously, I want to take care of this one first and make sure that I put on a spectacular performance and kind of just really make the most of my arrival into the organization, and then we'll go from there. If I can fight again in the summer, that would be great. But for me, I don't like to, especially the more I've learned about the pace of fighting and like the planning and all that stuff. It's almost you almost can't really even think ahead. You just got to focus on what's right in front of your face, and then once you get that done with, then reassess. It's just better to do it that way.
Okay. Along those lines, you have said in the past, while Izzy was champion, like you liked your chances in a fight like that. Since we last spoke, Izzy is no longer the champion. It's Alex Pereira, and they're fighting again. Similar type of fighter, though. How do you feel you would match up against an Alex Pereira?
That's an relatively, I would say, I'm not going to say easy fight because he's dangerous, but as far as styles go, that's a great matchup for me. I watched their fight a couple times, and the grappling, the striking exchanges are super impressive. That goes without saying. Is they're absolutely elite strikers, but when they get a hold of each other, it's just almost like funny. Like I'm like like laughing at like how they're moving and what they're doing and stuff, because it's maybe they feel that way about me when I'm like hitting pads and hitting the bag and stuff. But I just feel like if I grabbed a hold of either of those guys, it wouldn't go well for them. And I think everybody knows that. So that's not something that's like a shocking statement or that's outlandish in my opinion.
But you do have to get to them, right? Like, let's say in this fictitious world, you feel comfortable that you'd be able to bypass the striking, shoot for the takedown, and then do your thing on the ground?
Yeah, of course. I think that the more that I experience MMA, the more experience I get in sparring and things like that, you just understand the range a little better. You understand when you're in danger. And reality is, like, whenever I'm fighting a guy who's a striker, that they have all the anxiety. I have none. Like, they have to come, like, if they're going to knock me out, they got to either like be like catch me coming in like somehow, which is incredibly difficult to do, or like walk me down and hope I don't take them down as that's going on. So it's just like I have all the advantage in the pace of how the fight goes and just controlling the distance and that type of thing. Because in reality, like, I'm not going to sit here and stand in front of you in a 50-50 situation and let you kick me in the head. Like, I'm either going to be in or out, right? Like, and I know I have good enough cardio and good enough pace that I can do that for 25 minutes if I need to. On top of the fact that once I do grab you and get a hold of you, like, you're going to be gassed out, you're going to be done. And that's just if you survive and if you don't get strangled or don't get beat up too bad, the ref stops it. So in my opinion, going like there's always going to be that danger of like, hey, like I lean in and lean the wrong way and get hit. But the more experience I get, the less I think that the less likely that's going to happen.
It's wild. It feels like every division, especially at the top, there's one elite grappler in the mix. You don't really have that at 85 right now. Alex, Izzy, Rob, these are great fighters. These are some of the very best on the planet, but that's not their forte. Jared, Marvin, Derek's about to retire. Costa, Strickland, Delice is a great one. Hermanson, Drickus. Like, I feel like there's a path there for you. Like, that's right. That's not a crazy thing.
It's not crazy at all. I mean, I feel like there's absolutely a path. And I think that for me, you know, if I can look at it two ways. One, like there's an easy path to the title where I could fight, you know, 3 or 4 times and get there. But my goal isn't to win the belt and then like be done, right? Like I want to be the best pound for pound fighter on the planet. And so if I do have to go up against other guys that have strong grappling styles, stuff like that, like I'm okay with that. And that's why I train as hard as I do, why I put the time in and why I want to get better at everything in the sport, because my goal isn't to just take what I've done and kind of use that and get to the top that way, right? Like I want to, obviously I'm always going to take advantage of that, but I want to make sure that I round out my game and that I can absolutely beat anyone on the planet regardless of what their style is. And so I'm working every day to improve every aspect of my game. With that being said, like every single time I go into a fight, we're wrestling, and that's always going to be something that I'm taking advantage of.
By the way, are you in a rush? Would you say you're in a rush, or no? You're not in a rush. Like you're not antsy. You don't want to say, "Hey, get me on the fast track." You're cool with taking your time.
No,
Okay.
no, I'm definitely not in a rush. You know, I think that again, this is a for me a goal of being. You don't get to be the pound for pound number one guy in the sport when you're in a rush and you skip steps and you don't develop correctly, right? Like I'll wait a couple years to be champion and to win the belt, in order to really achieve my goal of being the best fighter on the planet, right? Because like again, I want to win the belt, but that's not my goal. The belt is part of the goal. It's not the goal. And so I think that for me, just continuing to improve, develop, get better every single day, that's the most important thing, you know, not how fast can I get there, right? Because like in all honesty, they could probably match me up with like 2 or 3 fights and then I could fight for the title like early next year if if they matched me with guys that in the right place. But in reality, like I don't want to fight Robert Whitaker at 6-0,
Hmm.
right? Like I want to get to 9, 10, 11-0 when I'm fighting those guys and make sure that I'm ready to take them out the same way that I'm ready to take out the guys that I'm competing against now. And I think that with correct development and my mindset, that there's no doubt that that's going to happen.
Who's number one pound for pound right now, in your opinion?
Number one pound for pound.
It's a big, it's a big debate between two guys coming off of Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I mean, obviously Islam won the fight. I wouldn't necessarily put, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily put Islam at number one pound for pound because he beat Volk, because you beat a guy smaller than you. So I don't really think that like it doesn't really like up you that much. Obviously Volk is like, if Volk would have beat him, I think that would have garnered number one pound for pound status. But I want to kind of see how a few certain fights play out in the future. Like I want to see Cejudo come back and fight. I obviously want to see John Jones fight. You know, if John Jones can win the belt at heavyweight, like he's automatically right there too. So I feel like there's 3 or 4 guys in the mix right now, and I don't necessarily. That last fight didn't. It almost like made it more unclear, even though Islam won. Of who, if he would have went out and finished him in like the first or second round, I've been like, that's the guy. But because it was so competitive, I feel like it's almost like there's not a clear pound for pound number one right now.
What do you think of the grappling in that fight?
Really high level.
Yeah.
Those guys really high level, doing a lot of really good things. I was super impressed with Volk. I kind of thought Islam was going to be able to hold him down a little more and be able to impose a little more than he was. So, you know, and yeah, overall, I mean, those guys are really, really freaking good. Definitely 2 guys that I study a lot. I watch a lot of, and I'm seeing the things that are doing well. I'm seeing the mistakes they're making and trying to um, add those things to my game and learn from them.
Well, a lot of exciting things for you. You're back on March 4th. First UFC pay-per-view, T-Mobile, Las Vegas, the return of John Jones. What a card. This new deal with Better. So a lot to be excited about. New haircut as well, new beard. EA Sports hating. I see them hating on you. What is up
All
with
good.
they? First they love you, they
I don't
put you on the cover, and then they freaking hate on you. What are these ratings?
It's all good. I don't even play video games,
Yeah,
so
who has
I
time for
don't
that?
really. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool thing to like be in the game and all that, but like, I don't really put a lot of stock into that. I was
Yeah.
actually a little tight. All my friends now, it's this is really messed up actually. All my buddies on the wrestling team, they like love playing the game, and they're all creating their own characters and like beating me up. And I'm like, bro, what are you guys doing? Like, some of
Wow,
them will like, some
it's
will use
that
me
bad?
online. They're just like, I think they're just being funny.
Yeah.
They're just posting their own creative characters, beating me up and stuff. But then a lot of them are using me online and dominating people. So yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, 5-star grappling definitely after this fight.
All right. Well, looking forward to it. Thanks for coming on as always. Congrats on everything. Good luck on March 4th.
Thanks, Ariel. Appreciate you.
All right, there he is, Bo Nickal, returning to action.